problem 5c, we're going to be taking the derivative of this function here, and you can see we have a couple of trig functions composed together. So this is an example of when we're going to need to use the chain rule to evaluate a complicated derivative. So in this function, we actually have four different functions that are composed. We have 4x, then we're taking the cosine of that, then we're taking the sine of that, and then we're squaring on that most outside function. So we have four different steps here. So whenever you're doing a derivative like this, applying the chain rule, you always look at the outermost function first, do the derivative of that, and then work your way on down through the middle. So the outermost thing that's happening here is that we're squaring the sine of the cosine of 4x. So to take the derivative of anything that's squared, we're simply going to pull the 2 down and then leave what we were squaring there, which in this case would have been sine of cosine of 4x. And we would lower the power by 1. In this case, it would just go to a 1, so I'm not going to write that. But then by the chain rule, we have to take the derivative of the inside, which is what I've just underlined here. We have to take the derivative of that. So the derivative of that is, now let's think about what's the outermost function that's going on here, is sine. So the derivative of sine of anything is cosine of that same thing, which in this case, which is cosine of 4x. And then now we have to take the derivative of the inside of that, which is cosine of 4x. So the derivative of cosine of anything is negative sine of that, which is in this case 4x. And then we have to do one more step, take the derivative of the inside of that. The derivative of 4x is 4. So we had to do all those steps because we have that many different functions composed with each other here in this problem. So to finally write this in a most consolidated way, let's check out what constants we have. We have a 2, we have a negative sign, we have a 4, so we can combine those to have a constant of negative 8. Nothing else here can be combined, so we just have to write it all out. Sine of cosine of 4x, cosine of cosine of 4x, and sine of 4x. So this whole line, that's going to be our derivative of this function using the chain rule appropriately.
The Teaching Center, UF's Learning Resource Center.